It's a nice break from StarCraft 2. That much is for sure. I should be at this point made up on. No! Don't! Okay, thank God. I thought I was gonna white screen there. Sorry. I haven't made my mind up about whether I love this game or not. But it's definitely interesting. That much is for sure. And I've been casting. I've cast just about every tournament that ESL's thrown out but one. So let's see. Let's see how this goes. Spawning in the top left corner of this map. It is the Orange Protoss from Millennium, Adelscott. And his opponent in the lower right. White Power Terran. 3 words to describe this man. It is AniQe. Alright, that was a really distasteful joke. I probably shouldn't have started the cast off with that, but I mean, his clan deck is just pure white. Now I'm wondering, do you have to, as an observer, if someone in chat could let me know, do you have to actually enable the decals or the rotating things, or do those just not show up outside a ladder? I wonder. Because I thought, honestly, that's like the coolest thing. Oh my God, Adelscott, what are you doing? What are you doing? Anyways, I was gonna say, I think that's probably like the coolest thing that they implemented in the patch. I don't care about the free arcade. The free arcade is cool, but like the decals and the spinning thing, I'm assuming it's just regular ladder, not STARBOW. Sadly, QQ. Anyway, so again, in my ear, guys, there is virtually no sound. It feels like I'm casting a muted game, and I will do my best to compensate. But people were saying that this sounds fine, so I'm not gonna tweak it. But a bit of a proxy going on right now. This is actually kind of unique. We've seen a lot of stuff with STARBOW, and a lot of it's been people experimenting. One time I have cast cheese so far, and that was like a 10 pool, 9 pools, like a really early stupid pool. Looks like this will get scouted here by AniQe, so great job with that SCV, man. The Zealot coming out right away though. This is a problem not too dissimilar from what we've seen. Oh. Nice reaction. I actually really like that. So I was about to discuss how there's a problem with StarCraft 2 right now, where as a Terran player, and this is like regular StarCraft 2 matches, if Marine Lord is still in chat, guys, he's a pro player who can vouch for how frustratingly stupid this is. As a Terran player, you can literally lose a game sometimes to a Zealot stock on a Mothership Core chronoed out across the map, right? In this instance, you're obviously not going to have the Mothership Core, but Dragoons, which are arguably stronger just due to the mechanics of STARBOW. Marines have incredibly short range, but again, they shoot over the bunker, so he'll be okay to fend this off. Now I say okay a little bit tentatively, of course, but Zealots were chronoed out. We got the Cybercore finishing up in a second here, so we'll have some goons added to the squad here in a bit. And of course, one of the biggest problems for Marines, as you guys can see, is their range. It's 4. You have to actually upgrade their range to make these halfway decent. A bunker is going to come down, but it's worth noting that until they get that range upgrade, even within a bunker, Dragoons with their upgrade outrange the bunker. If you guys have seen BSTQD games at this point, you'll have seen him play multiple instances versus Protoss where he has to build a bunker and he holds, and he holds, and he holds, but he can never really attack out of it. It's the stupid thing. So this bunker, guys, please understand, this is not your regular StarCraft 2 Marine loaded bunker. This will probably reach about here, and that's about it. So tank on the way is absolutely necessary. It doesn't get siege mode innately if you guys are new to STARBOW. Nice job on the Zealot.
First blood.
Just worth noting. But yeah, okay, so this is going to drive Adelscott back. Does this mean Adelscott is screwed because of his proxy? Not really. It's STARBOW. It's a different game, guys. What would normally be an all-in is not necessarily the same instance here in STARBOW, but he is proxying everything, and I really mean everything on this half of the map, including his robo. Oh, there's gonna be a Reaver to follow this up later on, I would imagine. Back at home, it's probably hope with the Colossus or the robo. There we go. Because of course Colossus are no longer. I'm just used to calling it the Colossus Bay, but it's the Robo Bay to make Reavers out of. Now, of course, he's gonna be able to shuttle these things up to the top of the ramp. But at this point, AniQe is not relying on the ramp to hold, right? Like, there's not a lot of Zealots in this force. It's mostly goons. So a couple of siege tanks and this small handful of Marines with a very small SCV pool could easily thwart this with relative ease. The problem is, though, once those Reavers come out. Oh, once those Reavers come out, it's just problems and then some. But as we see, tanks of course have a little bit of a moving shot effect. This is my favorite thing about STARBOW, the micro potential that's been introduced into it. Tanks do not need to stop and shoot. They can actually shoot while moving. They attack a little bit harder, but significantly slower than the tanks you guys are used to seeing. And looks like for now this will be thwarted. But as we see, the Reaver is on the way. And the Reaver is going to be a very big problem for any Terran player to deal with. Now, Siege Tank in Siege mode, great, fantastic. It's got a lot of damage. Dead space. Look at that, 70 damage a shot. Can't shoot in front of it, no good. So gonna lose one of his tanks here. A little unfortunate. Goliath is on the way. Telecom online. That's a terrible impression. Deal with it. But at any rate, the Reavers are being chrono boosted out to get them out a little bit quicker. So for those who don't know how Reavers work, if you're new to STARBOW, this is a unit that the Colossus essentially replaced from Brood War that STARBOW has brought back. Now, what this unit does is it basically builds banelings. This is the best way to describe this. Like, in context of StarCraft 2, if you've never seen a Reaver, watch this. This is gonna hurt. Okay, gets a lot of SCVs. Gonna get some more SCVs.
First blood.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do first blood. That was the wrong key. Anyways, the point is, it takes a long time to arm. The actual shot cannot be deflected in any way, but it attacks so incredibly slowly that usually you can keep this at bay. But the positioning he has behind the mineral line is actually fantastic. I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry about that. And he's gonna try and drop on top of the tank. Gonna get some nice siege fire off on top of the goon. Really actually like how he soaked that, but the second siege tank was a little too much and managed to snipe it off. Now there is a second Reaver out, guys, and a third one is on the way, so this aggression is by no means over yet. And right now, AniQe, in any other scenario, you're like, wow, he's basically screwed. But let's talk about the differences here for STARBOW. Now, some of you know what's going on right now. I don't need to spell it out for you, but you don't get to drop mules anymore. You basically instant build an SCV with that call-down mechanic. Great, that's why he's able to keep his worker count up. On top of this, let's not forget, oh, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. You know, if he kills the Warp Prism before it can unload the Reaver, it's not going to go down just barely with 15 health escapes. Second Reaver is out, and looks like AniQe, you know, he's in a bit of a rough spot for economy. Now, the thing I was going to touch base on top of that, guys, is you do mine minerals faster. You're basically mining from a gold patch in STARBOW. So you've got, as we see, a better income despite having lesser workers. Adelscott is taking a natural. His income is going to be a lot better than his opponent's, that much is for sure, but that doesn't mean he can end the game. And I did not know about this regenerative mineral field. That is pretty cool. Have not seen that before, but anyways, Reaver going to be coming in once again. There is a siege tank here and another one. Oh, it's not sieged. Ooh, that could be a bit of a problem. Actually, now they're in position to quite protect that mineral line. So another Reaver Scarab hit is going to try and go off here. Pulls the SCVs back. As you guys can see, it takes a really long time to arm, and the shot can be a little bit buggy, but I don't think this Warp Person will get away this time, so does shut that down, and the Reaver inside of it. Finally, AniQe finds a spot in this game where he can breathe a small sigh of relief, but he's got to know that there's another Warp Prism on the way. He's got to know it's coming. In fact, does he even know about all these proxies? He does, okay. And he has, in fact, scanned his opponent's natural. There's a third on the way. Adelscott has control of this game. There's no question about that. But the problem is, once this Terran player can establish his natural, it's very easy to play defensive for a very long time. Siege tanks are just so fantastic. I mean, I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm loving the higher damage, not loving the much slower attack speed, but hey, you can't have everything. Now, that new Warp Prism is out. Let's see here. Turrets down, so Observer's not going to get the free vision it wants. Couple Goliaths patrolling around should be able to make sure the Warp Prism doesn't quite get the free kills it wants to. And finally, we have some additional production coming up here. Vultures, by the way, guys, if you've never seen Vultures before, they are so much more fantastically fun, not just to watch, but to use than Hellions. I do kind of miss Hellions, I'm not going to lie. But these have the added bonus of the Spider Mine effect, which is researching right now. So what this does, it gives each Vulture 3 Spider Mines. They're kind of like Widow Mines, but they can't shoot up. They can also be shot before they detonate it. If one goes off, you guys who are new to STARBOW will see exactly what I'm talking about. But the other thing they do quite well is they hit and run workers like nobody's business. You only need 2 to 1 shot a pro, but if you're running around with Vultures inside your opponent's natural base, the thing is, once you research ion thrusters, they're the only ground unit I think that's faster than a speedling. It is ridiculous. So maneuverability is not an issue. But before we can even think about any of that, AniQe has to break this contain. And Adelscott has 48 workers in a map of STARBOW. Look at that income, guys. That's the difference right there. Now, while Widow Mines, Spider Mines may be able to be deployed, he's not putting any down yet. You will oftentimes see a lot of very heavy minefields in this game. There's the ion thrusters coming out here. This is that speed bonus I was talking about. So I think they get like a speed of like 5 point something, or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in a sec here. One goon gonna be poked out here a little bit. So Dragoons apparently, I don't know if this is true. I read this on Reddit, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Apparently, to make the Dragoon model, all they did was chop off the top half of the Immortal. So this is just like the Immortal's like pants. If you can imagine that. Anyways, a little bit of a Zealot run by, or not run by, drop off gonna go down. Spider Mines are gonna arm, and as we can see, they are gonna be detonated. Splash damage and friendly fire still have a hell of a thing for Terran to deal with. That's one thing that apparently we will never learn as Terran players, whether it's Brood War, StarCraft 2, or STARBOW. We never learn how to deal with friendly fire. Siege tanks, ravens, nukes, spider mines, you name it, we got it. Anyways, Adelscott hasn't actually saturated the gas here at his third. A little bit curious about that, because of course there's only one, This Reaver never die? What? He doesn't have a Reaver yet, so does he? I don't know what he means by that. Okay, anyways, the army outside of AniQe base is looking a little bit scary. Again, there's a lot of Widow Mines that could go down, but not Widow Mines, Spider Mines, but I'm surprised he's not employing any. Because here's the thing, right? Like, ooh. Tries to poke out a little bit, gets a little bit bold here, does have to be careful. Engagement looking like it wants to start up. Zealots are going to try and unload on top of the tanks if given the opportunity, maybe go around to the mineral lines, but again, where are the spider mines on the bridge? You know, prevent that push. Make sure that you know for damn sure Adelscott's not going to be moving out for free. And right now, okay, the Vulture's going to try and break the contain. They are going to move out. There are a hell of a lot of them, but it's not about killing the robo, right? Like, it's about going across the map, getting to your workers, your opponent's economy, who has not only twice as many bases as you, but twice as many workers, right? So, I mean, I implore the efforts here, or applaud the efforts, rather, of trying to get this done. Spider Mines are going to get one off. All right. As we see, it's quite explosive, the damage. With the Observer here, he's going to be able to detect them as well, so this really won't be an issue. I mean, you can usually attack like Spider Mines like on the fly, like as you're moving forward, you'll pick them off before they can detonate. Oh, that's kind of cool. So, okay, let's talk about that for a second. What you guys just saw is the warp-in effect. Now, they've changed Zealot and Protoss warp-in mechanics entirely for STARBOW. If you've never seen the game before, it is like 1,000,000% more efficient to produce from the gateways. There's a much longer cooldown. So, like, let's say a Zealot took like 10 seconds to build from a warp-in, right? It would actually, or sorry, from a regular build. It would take 20 seconds to warp in for context. Like, those aren't real numbers, but the point is, as you can see, it's not instantaneous. It takes a long time, and then on top of that, they have to like the cooldown of the warp, like the warp gate effect or whatever you want to call it itself, is long. So this is not a lot of fun to deal with, but does pick up some Templar for free. Siege tank on the high ground, going to add a little bit to this. But, you know, the warp tech hasn't been completely killed to the point where nobody uses it, but it's not used very often. So it is a little bit refreshing, kind of cool to see that happen. Anyways, 4 Archons at a time. Oh, Jesus. Without... Okay, so there's no more Ghosts. Oh, there's still Ghosts. Let me rephrase that. There's no more EMPs on Ghosts. That was an ability given to the Science Missile, and you have to actually research it. Currently, AniQe... I don't know if he's going to be able to hold this or not, guys. This is looking rough. As we see, the cooldown on the tanks is so incredibly long. All of them focus firing down on the Zealots like that was actually going to cost him, and this may just be the end of the game. A little bit too close to the cliff will allow these units to connect, and AniQe, yeah, it's going to have to tap out. Good game is called, and Adelscott will take the first game we cast today.